So I want to talk about patriarchy being a cult and how that impacted me. I mean, it's going to continue to impact me, but I want to talk about this one specific thing in regards to wearing dresses. And I thought of this because I had a conversation with this best-selling author. So I talked to Daniella. This Uncultured is the memoir. I talked to her just the other day as just an introduction because I'm about to have her on a live for my Patreon soon. That's coming up on July 21st at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 p.m. my time. Join Patreon if you want to be there. It's the third tier and the fourth tier, I think. I will eventually edit my lives down and show them to y'all, but I just can't figure out how to do it on YouTube. Anyway, also join my Patreon because that's where I'm showing a lot of other content, especially Grease stuff. This is our last few days here. But anyway, I talked to Daniella and I am halfway through her book and I had to stop because it is such... it's a really hard book to read in the beginning, and I'm not to the part with like all the hope and stuff, and it's an amazing story, but it deals a lot with, it's basically about cults. And she grew up in a cult, the Children of God cult, and a lot of her content, we met on TikTok. A lot of her content talks about just how, patriarchy, white supremacy culture, like capitalism, and all of these things are literally like act like cult. And the whole point is to like basically have like a rich white dude at the very top, cishet white man, with all the money, basically making all the rules, and it always ends in, schmegful and like dehumanization and all kinds of terrible things, right? And our conversation, I can't wait to have her on the live because I'm going to finish the rest of the book, but I tried to read it all here, and after the death that I witnessed the other day, I'm still dealing with that. We went back to that beach yesterday to take a boat to the other beach, and I was a mess. I was crying. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just been kind of struggling with some other stuff emotionally, with PTSD regarding, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll try to remember to click. It's one of my videos from 2 days ago, I think, of witnessing a drowning. Anyway, I had to stop because I just can't read any more about childhood schmegzual assaults while I am on vacation, especially hanging out with my nieces because I'm so worried that they're ever going to experience this anyway. And we had a lot to say, which really gave me a lot of ideas for what I want to talk about in our live when I host her, because by then I will have read the entire book. And also I'm going to ask people if they have any questions beforehand, especially if you're in those 2 tiers of the Patreon. But one of the things we talked about a bunch of stuff, kind of like overview of a lot of stuff. But one of the things she hit on, which I had never really quite thought about, like I've thought about it, but not on this level, is, her and I have... I wasn't raised in a cult. We both have childhood SA experience, in our past, and a lot of trauma around that. We both worked in boys clubs. She was in the military, and I was in like the outdoor industry, the film industry, comedy, and basically all male-dominated industries since I have been an adult. And before I went into the outdoor industry, I was like a tomboy. I've always been a tomboy. But it wasn't until... But I also kind of liked to wear dresses sometimes and stuff, and I would do some of that. But my first toy I ever asked for from Santa was a Tonka dump truck. I got a Barbie instead. So anyway, I was always like a tomboy. Always played sports. I don't even like that word. I don't know what else to use. But I've always, had more of like the typical like masculine traits, for lack of a better word. And if anybody who knows my content, especially, I talk a lot about how, I actually am not like the naturally nurturing person in my marriage. Anthony is more of that energy, and I'm more of the like, and so we complement each other really well. And, but part of that is because of trauma. Part of that is because of like not feeling safe to be soft and gentle and all those things. Part of it is just like, I don't know. I've always just, whatever, I'm a rough and tumble kind of gal. And I think you can do all those things. That's why I don't really like this whole like divine masculine, divine feminine. I don't have anything against the terms masculine and feminine. It's just the way that like a lot of these like dating coaches and stuff have literally repackaged white patriarchy, supremacy, misogyny culture, whatever, to like, this is this and this is that. And I just think you should be whatever you want. Anyway, again, I don't have anything against those terms, but the way they're used, I don't like the way most people use them, because I'm not meant to follow anybody. I don't want to be the leader all the time, but I certainly don't want to follow. Come on. Anyway, I only say that because I know somebody who has like one of these coaches, and literally this man has convinced her that everything is about falling into her divine feminine and that she just needs to lead. So she has to suggest all this crap to this dude. So it's his idea. I'm like, wow, that sounds just like white Southern women. How is this any different? Like, oh, you can, or my big fat Greek wedding. Oh, he controls the head and we control the neck. No, thank you. Anyway, I don't want to suggest anything. I want to be direct and whatever. So anyway, I'm a little off topic, but I'm sorry, I'm a little all over the place, but I'm on vacation. So this is a little bit more casual. She was talking about how when she was in the military, she went full like, I'm like, it's like you become a cool girl or pick me, but it looks different. And she fully committed to like, I'm in the army, or I forget which branch she was in. She's in the military, but wears, heels while doing it. Whereas so she was like the very feminine person in the boys club, where I was just like a boy in the boys club, right? So I rejected everything feminine about me. I didn't really care that much about women who wore like makeup and did their hair nice. I didn't really care. I was just like, I don't want to do that anymore. Because when I was in high school, I did it like 3 hours a day. Put makeup, like wash my hair, dry my hair straight, rolled it, spray painted, whatever you call it. Styled it with hairspray and all that stuff, big old bangs and all that stuff. Picked out my outfit. Like I spent all my money on trying to look pretty all the time. And I don't have anything against that, but mine was literally just to like fall in line. It wasn't, at first it was fun and then it was a chore. And I was like, God, this is such a waste of time and money. So I just stopped doing it. My freshman year of high school, first day of school, I was like, I don't want to get up early and do all this crap. So I put a little bit, I think I put like maybe some lip gloss on. And I just let my hair go natural, just like wavy or curly or whatever, long. Like that day I was like, I just like protested against all this stuff I was doing. And I haven't worn makeup or done my hair since. Except for prom and my wedding. And it's not like I didn't really wear dresses. Like I would if I had to, but I really didn't want to. I barely wore skirts, and I only wore skirts if I was hot. You know what I mean? But I wasn't violently anti-woman, anti-anything women do until I joined the boys club in the outdoor adventure world. And that is where I was just like, oh, I don't want to be, first of all, I didn't like the way men talked about women in terms of like schmegulizing them. So I was like, okay, well, I can't be schmegul in front of these dudes. I have to be a boy. Because the one time that they realized that I was like hooking up with another RAF guy, then they just basically gave me endless crap and were like slut shaming me and just saw me differently. So I was like, okay, I guess I literally became asexual during all that. I just kept not only like, making myself less and less like sexy or feminine or any of that stuff, but I also started to hate all the women who were that way. Part of it was also because I didn't like this. It was a survival mechanism too. I'm trying not to judge myself too much for being like the cool girl, whatever. I just needed to fit in. I needed to survive. And if it means being one of these dudes and talking as much crap as them and being just like bleh and gross and like, I became so like, I could cuss. I could, they had like potty mouths. Well, and they were like talking about like women's dirty if they have hair and all this stuff, and so I would just give it right back to them, and I'd just be like, whatever. It's like, your penis probably so small, it's like, throwing a hot dog down a highway, or whale eating a Tic Tac, or blah, 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 right? Like, I don't know, I was just constantly like, tongue mark, just gross, the grossest I've ever been. And it felt good, because I'm, pretty quick. I didn't realize till later on, this would be very good skill in improv and comedy and all that stuff. But I used that, to just like cut them down to protect myself. I try not to judge myself too much for that. But I became violently anti-feminine stuff in that club. And it really was thanks to, like, I always kind of knew this, but that conversation with Danielle, which is going to be even more amazing on the live, because I will have finished the book and I will have like very specific questions that I want to ask. This was kind of the conversation I had with her the other day. She invited me on her live on TikTok. So we just like chatted, and I was like, oh my God, I can't wait for our live on my channel. But it wasn't just until that conversation where I was like, dang it. Oh my God. I really did. Like, I thought that I was just like, oh, I just acted a little bit more. No, I fully became violently anti-woman as a survival mechanism to stay in this cult of patriarchy, right? And in doing so, I completely lost myself to the point where I am just now, and I'm going to show you some pictures in a minute, I am just now embracing wearing dresses. I mean, I've told y'all when I wore a dress I wore a dress to my wedding. I wasn't going to. I was like, oh, I don't want to dress. Like, still like that little, like, I'm too cool for that. I don't need to wear a dress to the wedding. No one's going to tell me what I want to do. And I kind of didn't care because, like, I also don't want to, like, deny who I am. But, like, once you start unpacking this stuff, you start to realize that it's like part of it is construction, part of it is deconstruction. I'm like, which part of this is actually me and which part of this is ego, And actually, it was the artist's way when I first started doing that many years ago. Julia Cameron was in New Mexico when I was living in a trailer and crapping in a bucket, and I drove all the way down there every Sunday for 2 months to Santa Fe to do the artist's way with her. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's a really great place to start if you are, want to be more creative and get in touch with your intuition and just love yourself and be in this like date yourself mode. It's a great book to read. There was that book that made me realize that like I never took care of myself or nurtured myself because I was too feminine. So when I talk about how I can relate to men and how toxic masculinity completely dehumanizes them, I'm telling you, that is who I became. I became the most toxically masculine man, but a woman, which is why I wrote that article for Outside Magazine called The Guide Who Became a Toxically Masculine Feminist. Google it if you want. I wrote that many years ago, and I would probably write it even more different now because, God, I've learned so much since then. But that's why I wrote that article, because I was like, man, I really became like the most toxic man. I became worse than the men I worked with, right? If you can't beat them, join them. But I think in patriarchy, it's not just if you can't beat them, join them. If you can't beat them, join them and do better at the thing they're doing than them, which is why, a lot of women end up being worse bosses, worse, like the whole like Handmaid's Tale thing, right? Like, don't think that women are not the foot soldiers of the patriarchy, right? Don't think that, especially white women. If we don't unpack this stuff, we are going to literally become, look up Marsha Blackburn. God. Senator from Tennessee. I haven't seen that woman ruin the state of Tennessee since I was a teenager. Look up, like, so many women end up being worse than men because those women are, if you can't beat them, join them, but join them and do worse than those men would do, right? And so I didn't realize like how much that was about trying to survive the cult of patriarchy, where there is a hierarchy, there's an expectation. If you are put under so much pressure to somehow fall in line, and like Daniella said, she was in the military, she became the best, but wore heels. You know what I mean? And so in the rafting world, I became the best, not the best, but like one of them, but worse than them, tougher than any of them. I used to make fun of them. I was like, none of y'all live in apartments. I live in my truck. I'm literally tougher than any of those dudes, and I wanted them to know it, But what I didn't realize at the time that my membership to the boys club was always conditional about staying in line, and and at any moment they could remind me by slut shaming me or ganging up on me. I've told you all this story about like, and I think I talk about it in that article for Outside Magazine about the guys. They still would treat me like their little sister sometimes, and they would gang up on me, and they would lock me in the outhouse and put like cam straps around it so there's literally no way I could get out, and then drop rocks down the tube so that the blue water would splash up and hit my butt while I was in there. And they would throw rocks at it while I was in there, which, if you've ever been in an outhouse, it's plastic in the hot sun, and then something hits it, it's like it's amplified so much. And then they would write, after they found out I was screwing one of the guys, the guides from our nemesis company, they wrote Melanie loves Mad River impermanent marker on both of my calves, the back of my calves, and drew like a herner. And I had to guide all day with that on the back of my calves in front of customers, and they would roll me in the dirt. Like, they would always like haze me, and part of me is like, oh, it's like having big brothers and whatever. So like, even when I like belonged and was worse than them, they always could physically overpower me and humiliate me, or they could always remind me through slut shaming that my membership is conditional, right? So I fully toned down anything feminine about me, became toxically masculine, and hid my schmegs. Like, after that, I didn't tell anyone anything. I had like a secret, and again, I was like celibate for most of my adult years, but I took a little break from my celibacy to like see, maybe I can date and hook up and stuff, and that was a nightmare. But while I was doing that, I learned really quickly that, oh, well, I better not tell them about it because they won't respect me. You can't be like one of the boys and also fork boys. You know what I mean? Well, not boys, men. But you know what I mean? And I can't stop thinking about the conversation with Daniella, because I was like, you know what? I like my wedding dress. I did buy a wedding dress. My mom was like, come on. And I was like, nah, okay, I'll look around. And I tried to buy one from H&M, like a $10 dress. I couldn't find anything. I ended up buying, I found a used one, handmade used one for 240 euros, I think. Beautiful gown. Look at this. Look at it. It had a little thing I could hold, whatever. This was like handmade, but it was used. And I got it for $240, 40 euros. And I almost didn't buy it because I was like, I don't want to spend that much money on a dress, even though it's literally a handmade wedding gown. I didn't even know the difference between a dress and a gown until this day. I was like, oh, okay, a gown is like different than a dress. You know what I mean? Anyway. And the only reason I ended up buying it is because I got period blood all over the back of it while I was in the dressing room, because my Diva cup runneth over. So I had to buy it because I stained it when trying it on. But I'm glad, because I ended up buying it, and she gave me some extra flowers, and I found a tailor to cover the blood up with flowers. Anyway, I was so committed to this dehumanization of myself, but I kept thinking, oh, this is my authentic me. This is me fighting against the patriarchy, is I refused to wear dresses because they want to make me wear dresses. And I judged other women who were feminine because they were just giving into the patriarchy, when I basically was giving into it too. I was just doing the opposite. It's kind of like when you think about, like, if someone is raised by a terrible parent, and it's natural to want to like be the opposite of your parent in order to be a good parent. Or, okay, like not even a parent. Like, for instance, if my family, I'm just going to give an example that like is just not even like a real one. But if my parents thought I was like dumb, what if then for me to rebel against that and get like straight A's, to be like, see, I told you I'm not that. But then if all I did was obsess about being smart, obsess about if I had to get a PhD from Harvard, if I had to get like constantly like prove to them how smart I am, at a certain point I'm doing something just to prove that I'm not what they think I am. And so I'm still making it about them. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a parent who like wouldn't let you play softball, and then you have kids and you're like, I'm going to let you play softball, but then the kid's like, I don't really want to play softball, and you're like, no, you have to play softball because I want to prove that I support you playing. You know what I mean? Like, these are terrible examples, y'all. But what I basically did was, like, when you're still doing something, even if it's the opposite of what you've been told you have to do, and everything you do is about not about what you really want to do, but about being the opposite of what you're told you have to do, you're still centering that person. You're still centering that ideology, and it's not really about you. It's still about them. You know what I mean? And so what I finally started to realize, especially in the last like 5 years, is that this anti-feminine anything, this anti-dress, anti-makeup, I still am not going to wear makeup, y'all. I don't know how to do it. I'm too old to learn this. I just don't care. I'm also like trying to be okay with not doing the things I don't want to do, like makeup. I think it's an art form. I do not judge women who wear makeup anymore. I used to, but I just don't want to. I don't want to spend the money on it. I don't care. But one thing when I was a teenager, I loved buying cute outfits. And then I completely abandoned that. And in the last like 5 years or so, I haven't bought new clothes in like 5 years, y'all. Other than like underwear, no new clothes in 5 years. So every outfit that you see me wearing, I got for like less than $10 on Vinted. All of it. And they're cute and I love it. But for the longest time, it wouldn't let me kind of get in touch with that old part of myself who does like to wear earrings sometimes and maybe some lip gloss. Not lipstick, because I don't like the way lipstick, but I like lip gloss. I like shiny lips. Who liked to wear cute outfits that I put together because it's creative. I am trying to get back in touch with her and also try new things. Maybe one day I will like makeup, and that's okay. But it is so hard to figure out who you are when everything you've done was either to fall in line and be who you're told you have to be, or if you take the more rebellious stance like Ed did and was like, be everything they want me to be in certain areas and then be the opposite of what they tell me I have to do. You know, like that's why when I was like getting close to 40, I'd always been like, I don't want kids. I've never wanted kids. But I let myself ask myself, multiple times in my late 30s, am I child free by choice because I really want to be, or because I'm just rebelling? Do you know what I mean? And I had to really sit with that. And there was a part of me that's like, but what if I regret it? I should have a baby. And then I was like, no, I don't want to be a mom. I don't. I know that. But I had to ask myself that because I was anti-marriage for a long time. And I'm still thinking the institution of marriage is mostly a scam, and it doesn't benefit most women if they're with men, especially if they're with men for all the wrong reasons and whatever. But I'm not anti-marriage just for the sake of being that way. I just don't like how men behave in marriage. Most of them. And honestly, even like the most evolved man is still going to like fall into that entitlement. And so if he's willing to face that and deal with it and unpack that entitlement that patriarchy has taught him because he loves you enough, it'll work. But we both have to unpack it together. But but marriage also benefits women if you have a good partner, because you get the health insurance, you have legal protection, you have security. If you're an immigrant, you have border control doesn't care if you love each other, but your boyfriend and girlfriend. You know what I mean? So that's why in general, I'm against marriage because women don't benefit from most marriages. But I'm not against all marriage. The same way I'm not against, just because I don't want kids. I don't hate women who become mothers, So I know this is like a really big topic, but what I'm saying is I went so far this way, and then I was like, I went so far the other way, and now I try to ask myself on a regular basis, what do I want? What do I want? Not what do I want based on what they tell me I should want. What do I want based on being a rebel or being like whatever? And I'm still finding it. And I'm still evolving. And I probably still won't really truly know myself until the day I die, because we are always changing and evolving and learning and discovering new parts of ourselves. Or we outgrow old versions of ourselves and all that stuff. So I think it's just normal to change anyway. But a lot of what I was adventurous. I was a tomboy. I was all those things. I'm a mess. I get stains on all my clothes. That's one reason why I still don't really wear white unless I have to, right? Because I know myself. I got period blood all over my wedding dress. And then wine on it, and I don't even drink wine. I haven't drank in 20 years, and somehow I have wine stains all over my dress. I don't know who that was from. Whatever. And so, just thanks to Daniella, I'm starting to kind of judge myself less and look more at my whole past and my present and future self in terms of just getting in touch with me instead of defining myself on what everyone thinks I should be, wants me to be, or what I shouldn't be. So where I'm at now is still, my hair is always a mess, but I don't care. I think it's okay. I like it. I got a $20 haircut the other day. It was actually $15. I paid $5 extra for her to wash my hair. I was like, just cut it, just get it. But I just don't care. Makeup's the same. Maybe some lip gloss. Maybe every once in a while on a special day I will wear mascara. That's it. I don't want to wear anything else. That's where I'm at. And it's not because I hate people who wear makeup or think it's wrong or anything like that. I think it's beautiful, but I don't want to wear it. But dresses and cute clothes, I want to wear those. Do I want to wear super fancy stuff? No, but I like to look really pretty, but I don't have the budget to buy really expensive clothes, but I take so much pride in wearing cute clothes. I'm going to show you some of the photos we have taken over the last week of me wearing cute dresses and skirts and all this stuff, and every single thing was less than $10, and I got it secondhand on Vinted. And I'm not sponsored by Vinted. I'm just giving you all the resource. I don't think they have it in the US. But look at this. Look at her. Look at her. Look at her. Look at that cute skirt. Look at that. Look at that sexy dress. Look at that. It even has, I don't have cleavage, y'all, but I made this thing work. This was in this pizza bus. Look at that. Okay, that's all the same dress. Look at this one, y'all. Look at that. Just a cute outfit. Black skirt, little see-through shirt. I am very proud of this one. Look at that. Look at that skirt. I mean, you have to wear a bathing suit with it. This thing, flamingos on it. This dress was really cute, but this I took right before the drowning, so I will never, I will always associate this with a dead body, unfortunately. And look at this one, y'all. I'm going to move out of the way for this. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Here's a closer, look at this. I think y'all have seen this one before. I bought this last year. I think it was like $7. Look at this sexy. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, sorry. But yeah. And I've got more. Let me know if you want to see more. I just really love this. Anthony did not know I was going to be doing a photo shoot. So he's wearing swim trunks, but like this is cute. Oh, and then this one. This was our date night last night. We finally got a date night. We've been like with the family all the time. But look at that. Sunset in my pretty dress. This is like, I have never worn like a strapless dress this is like the first time I ever wore one was like 2 years ago. I was like, oh wow, these are fun. Oh wait, here's another one. Took this one. Look at this. Anthony took this photo yesterday. He's like, get the flag, babe. Cute. Look at this. Anyway, I have so much more. Let me know if you want to know more posts like this, but this is who I am. I am messy and dirty and a tornado rainbow, and there's oftentimes holes and stains on my clothes and whatever, but I'm also a schmexy bitch who likes to feel like feminine, you know? Anyway, let me know what you think, if you can relate to this. It seems like a lot of women under this cult of patriarchy, or if you're raised as a woman, you're taught you had to choose this way, or like, anyway, like, I don't know. Just, can you relate to this? Of like, once you realize that like, you're not even making decisions based on who you are and what you want, but rather what they tell you have to be, and then you defining yourself by what you're told you have to be, or in rebellion of what you're told you have to be, and you really have to think like, what do I want? Who am I? I don't know if I'll ever know, y'all. I literally, again, I may be working on this till the day I die. I have, just in the last 10 years alone, I have changed so much because I stopped defining myself on what I was supposed to do. More so than even in my youth when I was super rebellious, because I was like, oh my God, I was just like rebelling. How much of is that really choice versus just rebelling, you know? Anyway, let me know what you think. Thanks for being here. My Grease content's been a lot more chill because I don't want to be like the loud US American who's like, and the funny thing is I actually brought some of these dolls, these puppets, and my little microphone, but I'm too embarrassed to use them here because people like looking at me. I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, we're here. We leave. Whatever. We have. It takes, coming to Greece is great, but it takes like 3 days to get here. You got to take like a 7-hour boat, and then you have to stay overnight in Athens and then fly back or whatever. But it was all. I also owe y'all. Well, I'm gonna do more of this on Patreon, but again, I've been able to do this very cheap. I'm very proud of myself. I can dress really cheap. I can travel cheap. I really should share more of this because I was raised by a single mom who's penny pinching. I am so good at that. But I'm also learned how to value myself enough so that I don't like sleep on floors. You know what I mean? Because I could take this way too far. Anyway, let me know if you like this. Let me know your thoughts. Please join my Patreon even if you can't afford to, because then you at least get notified when I upload things, because a lot of people have been telling me that YouTube keeps unsubscribing them, which explains why I get like 5 new followers a day but then lose followers every day. Like, I'm not growing. I'm actually getting less every day, less views. I don't know what's happening, but hope it doesn't keep doing this, because then I will just have to find another job. But if you at least subscribe to my Patreon, you'll get notified when I upload, so then you can actually see my stuff instead of hoping that the algorithm doesn't hate me that day. Anyway, thank you for being here. Thanks for your support, especially all of the amazing comments on the drowning video. Yeah. Enjoy my Patreon, and let me know if you heard the comment song, because I work really hard on these dumb songs. They're fun. I don't really work hard, but they're fun to be like silly. Anyway, have a great day. Et voilà! Hey, it's a coming song, the coming song, the coming song. Yeah, it's a coming song, the coming song. Hey, leave a story, a comment, or something else. Hey, leave a story, a comment, anything you want. Hey, the comet song is about to end soon, so wrap it up. Hey, it's the comet song. It's about to end, so wrap it up. Hey, this is the Greek version of the comet song. The comet song, the comet song. Hey, this is the Greek version of the comet song.